So ever since 2012, when Disney took over Lucasfilm and installed Kathleen Kennedy as the president of the company, we all know that George Lucas was misled to believe that Kathleen Kennedy was going to respect the characters, respect the lore, and especially respect his stories or his treatments that were meant for the sequel trilogy films that got disregarded by Bob Iger. Now, we already know that Lucasfilm is by far one of the worst divisions of the company, if not the worst division, which it is, by the way. We all know it, they know it. But at the same exact time, ever since the Acolyte ratings disaster and everything that happened with that actual series back in June, July, etc., it's been nothing but chaos at Lucasfilm HQ. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So, Leslye Headland, we all know that she is just as bad as Kathleen Kennedy is. She believes in everything that she says as well, and all of the agendas that she's been pushing into Star Wars in recent years. One thing about Leslye Headland is that we know that she's been on the damage control train and really has been in double down mode when it comes down to the Acolyte series failure. Now, what's interesting here has a lot to do with Disney taking action against Leslye Headland in a very big way, even bigger than what happened some weeks ago that we discussed multiple times, by the way, and how this is really creating a lot of issues for the Walt Disney Company as well. Now, what's interesting here has a lot to do with the fact that she was indeed fired and removed entirely from the Walt Disney Company and, of course, Lucasfilm. Now, this is where it begins to get quite ugly for her as a creator, if you even want to call her a creator at that. Now, interestingly enough, alright, with the Walt Disney Company already in freefall mode due to all of their failures throughout 2023 and this year, one monumental development going on now has more to do with Leslye Headland of the Acolyte series, where she was recently fired entirely not just from Lucasfilm, but now entirely from Disney as a whole, as new truths begin to emerge about what was going on in the aftermath of the Acolyte ratings disaster. Now, a shocking update to this situation now involves how weeks ago Leslye was indeed removed and fired from all Star Wars projects. We discussed this. However, as it turns out, she had some Disney live-action offers and was signed on for some major motion picture deals behind the scenes that she of course now officially was removed from by Bob Iger and the Disney executives. Now, it turns out that Leslye Headland was set to become a major player for all, of course, many agenda-driven projects, such as the all-female-led Pirates of the Caribbean film, as either the director or a co-writer for that movie, after the Acolyte failed miserably and the general public got to know who Headland was as the main reason why the Acolyte failed. She was recently booted from that project, and also she was set to become a major part of the upcoming Sword in the Stone live-action remake. Now, reportedly, she was set to direct this film that was going to double down on the typical Disney messaging and agenda, and Leslye was all for it. It's said that Disney wanted to withdraw from using Leslye Headland's name entirely since she is now affiliated with Lucasfilm, as creating the biggest failure at the company in recent years. As of now, Leslye is now no longer attached to anything Disney related at all in any way. This comes shortly after she was fired and removed from multiple Star Wars TV shows and Star Wars movies as well, where she was set to write or co-write some projects as well as direct. Now, Kathleen Kennedy's initial plan was to make her the big new name at Lucasfilm, and that backfired as well completely with the Acolyte series, with Disney now looking for a replacement for the all-female-led Pirates film and new creatives to back Sword in the Stone. Already, Headland is playing a blame game where she is pressuring the Disney company that they took action against her just because she is part of the LGBTQ community, and these claims are best described as desperate. A desperate attempt to guilt-trip the Disney executives into thinking twice about their decisions behind the scenes with the projects that she was initially set to write, co-write, and or direct, whether it was Star Wars or Disney motion picture movie related, etc., etc. Now, guys, let me say one thing about this before I move on. We already know that Leslye Headland was nothing more than, a unstoppable, destruction, basically when it comes to Lucasfilm. It had to be stopped. It had to be pretty much, brought to a halt, if I should say. And if they didn't stop Leslye Headland, it just would have been one failure after the other. We all know that, and they know that. Now, you really can't defend the Acolyte series after the Nielsen ratings reports. I think that's when reality really and truly set in, that they couldn't keep Leslye Headland at all at anything Disney related, whether it was a live action project, movie related, or TV show related, doesn't matter. They couldn't do it. They couldn't extend her. They couldn't actually expand her as well beyond Lucasfilm. You know, reality began to sink in just a couple of weeks ago. But what's interesting here has a lot more to do with the fact that Leslye Headland is already on that blame game, and we talked about this, that she is actually blaming Disney for using the fact that she is a part of the LGBTQ community and that's why she got fired. That's not the case at all. We all know the truth. She was a part of one of the biggest disasters out there that really and deeply impacted whatever was left of Lucasfilm's image, or Disney's image at that, and how they handle Star Wars. And whether or not, you know, they were trying to save whatever was left of their techniques of hiding their agenda, that also got exposed. All because of Leslye Headland. And that really put Bob Iger in a very tough spot, to say, you know, in a very simplistic way there. We know that he's trying to build up a lot of projects to enhance his legacy before he plans to step down by 2026. It's not working so far. Now, already this is creating chaos at the Disney company as the third most recent firing at the company. However, this doesn't mean they will be shifting away from their agenda anytime soon. Iger reportedly is only looking to vanquish any recognizable names that are affiliated with recent colossal failures, as of course their end as a marketing stunt to trick audience members to watch their films and their television programs. However, the public is beginning to wake up, and rightfully so. So, like I said earlier, and it matches up exactly with what we're talking about today, is that this is indeed nothing more than a marketing stunt. Just because they are getting rid of Leslye Headland, and just because they are also, like we talked about earlier today, are diminishing the amount of movies and or TV shows that Kathleen Kennedy will be producing, you know, and how she's gonna not have as many, affiliations with that, is nothing more than a marketing stunt. They want to basically get rid of the names that are recognizable as failures or contributing to becoming a failure, and that's going to be their way of saying, hey, you know, come on in, it's going to be something different, when in reality it's not. They have a lot of Kathleen Kennedy loyalists. They have a lot of other creatives out there like Leslye Headland that are now going to be taking over. For example, the Pirates of the Caribbean all-female led reboot, one of the two, by the way, being made, as well as Sword in the Stone and many other upcoming Disney live-action remakes. Another big sign that they're not backing away from DEI or anything agenda-driven is that they got a new DEI supervisor on board over at the Disney company that's going to pay, get this, $200,000 a year, if not a little bit more than that. And that's really, you know, a big sign there that Bob Iger does not care about anything anymore. So I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this below in the comments. If you guys really would like to, you know, express your thoughts about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.